Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video in Engineering Economy, and this is part 3, Engineering Economy 1, part 3. So here I'm going to discuss and derive formulas, discuss principles about annuity. So we define annuity as a series of equal payments made at equal intervals of time. So an example of an annuity is the series of payments in an appliance loan or the monthly amortization of a housing loan. So that's an example of annuity. So types of annuity. We have the ordinary annuity where the principles, formulas shall be based. And we have here the first one. So there are 4 types. The ordinary annuity. So first we have the ordinary annuity. So an annuity in which the series of equal payments are made at the end of each period, with the first payment made at the end of the first period. So there's a need to draw the cash flow diagram for this ordinary annuity so that we can derive the formulas for present worth and or future worth. So this is the cash flow diagram, and in its end of the period we have to put the equal payments, which is denoted by A here. So that's the figure, and this is the future worth, that is A. So at the end period this A is A, but this A at occurring at n minus 1 should be projected to this period here. So we multiply this by 1 plus I to the 1. So that would be A times 1 plus I to the 1. Then the next one, A times 1 plus I to the 2, and so on and so forth. So for this case, for example, that would be A times 1 plus I to the power 2. It occurs at n minus 2 here. So the distance is 2, so that's why we have to magnify it by multiplying, by raising the power of 1 plus I to 2. Then for this case, in general, A times 1 plus I to the power 3. And so on and so forth. So this is the m plus 1 period. So that would be, in general, A times 1 plus I to whatever is the difference in the distance here. It is n minus quantity m plus 1 minus 1. So it is n minus m, and so on and so forth. So until this is A times 1 plus I to the power n minus 1, and this one, the power of this is A times 1 plus I. So this would be A times 1 plus I to the power, and so on and so forth, A times 1 plus I to the n, or n minus 1, because the distance is n minus 1. So that's it. So notice that these terms are in geometric progression. The second term divided by the first is equal to the third divided by the second, and so on and so forth. And the common ratio is 1 plus I, right? Common ratio is 1 plus I. So that would be the sum of uh, the sum of geometric progression. So therefore, S, which is equal to F, future worth, is A plus A times 1 plus I plus A times 1 plus I square, and so on and so forth until we have a times 1 plus I to the n. The last term. This is a times 1 plus I to the n because the distance is n minus 1 plus 1. So that's why it is a times 1 plus I to the n. So since the common ratio is r, we recall from geometric progression that the common ratio is r and the sum is equal to first term, which is a, times quantity r to the n minus 1 all over r minus 1, if you can recall. So that's it, and we'll have to discuss that on the next slide. So to continue, S equals F equals A times quantity 1 plus I, A plus A times quantity 1 plus I square, plus dot 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 until A times 1 plus I to the n. So we note that the common ratio is second divided by first, third divided by second, and it is obviously equal to 1 plus I. And right, so it is 1 plus I. Recalling the formula for the sum of uh, terms in geometric progression, which is S equals first term, which is A, then quantity r to the n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. If you can recall, you should be able to recall this formula discussed in algebra. And we also had examples on this. So substituting with a1 equals a and r equals 1 plus I, then this one is 1 plus I minus 1, so the denominator is I. So therefore, the future worth of annuity, ordinary annuity for this case, is A quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1 all over 1 plus I minus 1. So simplifying, this becomes A over I quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1. So that's the formula for the sum of annuity in ordinary annuity. So future worth of an ordinary annuity. So we call that. So for the present worth, because this is now a single amount, the connection between future and present worth is from preceding concept, F equals P1 plus I to the n. Therefore, this future worth will just be divided by 1 plus I to the n. So the present worth, therefore, is we simply divide that by 1 plus I to the n. So, therefore, F equals P equals F 1 plus I to the negative n, or this formula, we divide this by 1 plus I to the n. And to the negative n. So P is A over I, 1 plus I to the n times quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1. You may memorize that formula. Or the other way to make it compact is we divide the first term by 1 plus I to the n, then minus 1 over 1 plus I to the n. So I rather memorize this case, A over I times quantity 1 minus quantity 1 plus I to the negative n. So that's the formula which I memorized, this one. So there are two formulas. You just memorize this F here, and for the present worth, the technique is you just divide that by 1 plus I to the n rather than memorizing all formulas. So you're just familiar with the future worth, and the present worth is simply that formula for future worth divided by 1 plus I to the n. But for me, I can easily memorize this also. So that's the present worth of an ordinary annuity. So the ratio F over A, which is 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I, this is called uniform payment series or equal payment series compound amount factor or future worth factor. So take note of that. This F over A, you don't need to memorize this expression here. You just divide the future worth by A. That's the simplest way to memorize that. Likewise, A over F, the reciprocal is called equal or uniform payment series sinking fund factor. So you have to familiar this also because the problem may be just to compute this equal payment or uniform payment series sinking fund factor. Then P over A, which is 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I 1 plus I to the n, or simply present worth over the equal payment A. This is called equal or uniform payment series present worth factor. And the reciprocal of this, which is I 1 plus I to the n over 1 plus I to the n minus 1, or simply A over P, is called the other way of getting the reciprocal. It is I over quantity 1 minus quantity 1 plus I to the negative n. We call that equal or uniform payment series capital recovery factor. So take note of these terms and formulas. We need that. So let's have example. This is example 17. An engineer deposits 3,000 pesos endowments at the end of each quarter when his newly born son was born. What amount will his son receive after collecting one lump sum value from his endowments when he reaches 18 years old? When his son was newly born. So money is worth 6% compounded quarterly net of taxes. Also compute the following: the equal payment series future worth factor or compound amount factor, that's the other term, equal payment series present worth factor, equal payment series capital recovery factor, and the equal payment series sinking fund factor. So for the solution, you have another example here. Uh, Sorry for the uh, not uh, arranged in sequence video. I'll just put that another problem. Anyway, there are only two problems in this part of the slides. So for problem 18, a certain equipment is to be paid 600 pesos at the end of each month for 5 years. What is the cost price of the said equipment if it has no down payment and money is worth 4% compounded quarterly? Resolve if the down payment was 10% of the cash price and money is worth 4.5% compounded annually. So for problem 17, uh, the question is the lump sum. What amount will his son receive after collecting one lump sum? So 3,000 pesos, that's okay, good for now. But this is for each quarter. So um, I is zero point 0.06 divided by 4. And the number of payments, number of compound periods is 4 times 18. So that would be 72. That's fine. So the formula for future worth, A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1. So remember that. So I is, in this case, NR over M, and NR is zero point 0.06, M is 4. So it is equal to 0.015. So substitute into the formula with N equal to 4 times 18, and that is 72. So substitute F equals 3000 over 0.015, 1.015 to the 72 minus 1. And the future amount, the single amount that the Sun will receive 18 years from now will be 384,232 pesos. So that's the amount that the Sun will receive. Then for this equal payment series future worth factor or capital or compound amount factor rather, it is F over A. So F over A is this remaining expression here, but I will not use that because we already calculated F and A is given, so we'll just divide that by 3,000. And that value is equal to 128.077. Then for part B, equal payment series present worth factor, let's compute the present worth first by dividing this F by 1 plus I to the n, 1 plus or 1.015 to the 72. That's P over A. So 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I, 1 plus I to the n. I will not use this. You just verify using this formula. The result is, let's solve for P first. So 1, I just use this formula, or this is the other expression, the other formula, because we haven't yet solved P, but if we solve P, we just divide 384,232 by 1 plus 0.015 to the 72. So I rather use this formula here. Everything is known, so 1 minus 1.015 to the negative 72 all over 0.015, and that is 43.845. Then for the third, equal payment series capital recovery factor, that's the reciprocal of present worth factor. So it is I over quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n, but we already computed equal payment series present worth factor. So it is just the reciprocal of 43.845, and that is equal to, that's the formula, but I'll use 1 over 43.845, and that is equal to 0.02281. Then next is equal payment series sinking fund factor, that's A over F, the reciprocal of this 128.077. So formula first, A over F, or I over 1 plus I to the n minus 1. But I use 1 over 128.077, and that is 0.007801. Then for this problem here, equipment 600 pesos at the end of each month for 5 years. What is the cash price of the said equipment if it has no down payment and money is worth 4% compounded quarterly? So that means we are going to compute the present worth of this equipment. I is 0.04 over 4, and that is 0.01. And number of compound periods n is 4 times 5, that's 20. So we consider the present worth formula is A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n. This is the formula that I'm going to memorize. So I is NR. Let's convert it first because the what we call this, the payment is made at the end of each month, and money is worth 4% compounded quarterly. So effective rate, principle is we have equivalent rate. So we equate effective rates for the two. So 1 plus 0.04 over 4 raised to 4, supposedly minus 1, but I'm not showing the -1, -1 also in the right side. Anyway, we can, the two negative ones left and right will vanish in the equation. Then 1 plus NR over 12 for this monthly payment raised to 12. So I equals NR over 12, and that is equal to 0.00332228. Then substitute here 600 over 0.00332228, 1 minus 1.03322228 raised to negative 12 times 5, or negative 60. Sorry, I mentioned n is 4 times 5 earlier because I thought that the payment is made every quarter, but it is every month. That's why we uh, convert the equivalent rate when compounded every month. So this is the value. So solving for P is equal to 32,590. For the second part, resolve if the down payment was 10% of the cash price and money is worth 4.5% compounded annually. So for this case, we have to convert um, equivalent rate at 4.5% compounded annually to monthly. So 1 plus 0.045 over 1, this is yearly or annually. 1 plus NR over 12 raised to 12. So I equals NR over 12 again, and it is equal to 0.00367,481. So for this case, because there is a down payment of 10%, that means that the present worth of these equal payments will be equated to just 90% of the cash price, because there is a down payment of 10%, which of course happened at the beginning of the first month, at the beginning of the first period. So that's why 0.9p is equated to this present worth value of annuity. So 600 over 0.00367,481, quantity 1 minus 1.00367,481 to the negative 60. Solving for P this time is 35,838 pesos. So that's it for this part of the video. So next, we have the second type of annuity. We call this annuity due. So an annuity in which the series of equal payments are made at the beginning of each period, with the first payment made at the beginning of the first period. So it is similar, except that the equal payments are made at the beginning of each period. So to help analyze, we have to draw the cash flow diagram. So meaning at zero, payment already, you have to pay AAA, and it will end at n minus 1 because there are still n equal payments. And take note the formula that the number of payments is equal to, for instance, it ends here, n minus 1 minus 0 plus 1. So n minus 1 minus 0 plus 1, there are still n equal payments. And this, from the beginning of the second period up to the beginning of the n minus 1 period, this, if you look at this cash flow diagram, it is like the ordinary annuity. So it happens that there is already payment at the beginning. Therefore, if we derive the present worth, then the present worth formula can be used for ordinary annuity, and we'll just replace n by n minus 1. So negative n, it becomes negative n, negative quantity n minus 1. But we have to add a here because that's a is occurring at the present. So if that's the period, so this is A, and we're going to project this at present. This is already present value. So the present value, we apply the formula A over I, quantity 1 minus quantity 1 plus I to the negative n supposedly, but this time because there are n minus 1 payments only from 1 to n minus 1, so we replace n by n minus 1. So it becomes the power would be negative of quantity n minus 1. So A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative of n minus 1. So therefore, the present worth is equal to A plus this formula here. So present worth of annuity due is A plus that formula A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative of quantity n minus 1, and it becomes 1 minus n. So likewise, the future worth of annuity due can be derived by multiplying this by projecting this value by 1 plus I to the n. But we'll not do that. We also have uh, A here at the nth period. We put A there, imaginary. So there will be n plus 1 payments already, which occurs at the nth period, exactly at the nth period. So we should neutralize this by putting A above. So there will be n plus 1 equal payments, and we can use the formula for future worth of ordinary annuity. Then we have to subtract A. So the power in the formula, if you can recall, A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1, we replace n by n plus 1, and we should subtract A here because we added A. That's why there will be n plus 1 payments, so we should also subtract A. So the formula, this will be the future worth of ordinary annuity, A over I, 1 plus I to the n plus 1 minus 1. So therefore, the future worth of annuity due is this formula here, A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n plus 1 minus 1, then we should subtract A. So I hope that you can follow. You just adjust. You just subtract A, and the principle is there will be n plus 1 payments already for this annuity due. So that's it. So future worth of an annuity due. The third type of annuity is the deferred annuity. From the word itself, it means that the first payment is made at some other time, not the first, not the beginning of, or not the end of the first period. So it is deferred, let us say, at the end period. So that's deferred annuity from the term itself. So annuity in which the first payment of the series of equal payments is made at some deferred period. So this is the cash flow diagram. And for this case, we can uh, solve problems on this in so many ways, as long as you already mastered the projection for a single payment, and we have this cash flow diagram, right? So there will be 3 or more solutions to this type of problem. So we have the cash flow diagram for deferred annuity so that we can analyze how to solve this type of problem, whether we compute the present worth or the future worth or the value at any period. So that's it. So if we notice, the cash flow diagram would be like ordinary annuity, and we imagine this is the first, the beginning, this is 0 or or the beginning. So this is, there will be n minus m plus 1 equal payments. So that's the formula for the number of equal payments. So this is the first approach that I'm going to suggest. So first we have to compute for value, the value present, it's like present. Imagine this is 0. So we can compute the present worth of this n minus m plus 1 equal payments. Or we can compute the future worth also, which occurs at n. So using the formula f, which is, that's the future worth of deferred annuity, and it is equal to a over I, quantity 1 plus I to the power should be n minus m plus 1, then minus 1, right? So a over I, then we have quantity 1 plus I to the n minus m plus 1, the power, then minus 1. Remember, future worth of ordinary annuity, a over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n, then minus 1. So in this case, because there will only be n minus m plus 1 equal payments, you just replace n by that formula. So I hope that you can follow. So formula therefore is future worth a over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus m plus 1, then minus 1. So that's it. That's the formula. For the second approach, now that we have uh, derived this future worth of deferred annuity, we're going to project it to present. That's a single amount. So since the distance is n minus 0 plus n minus 0, n minus 0, that's the distance. So since the distance is n minus 0 or n, we are going to divide this formula by 1 plus I to the n, right? So from uh, present worth, future worth, divided by 1 plus I to the n. So you just divide that by 1 plus I to the n. Then formula for present worth therefore is a over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus m plus 1 minus 1 all over 1 plus I to the n. So if I were the one to solve or analyze this problem, I just be equipped with future worth of ordinary annuity, and because the present worth is, you just divide it by 1 plus I to the n, or for projections for single payment, all those formulas, just two, are enough for me to analyze problems on annuity deferred, ordinary, or so far we have also annuity due. I do not really memorize all these formulas. I just discuss it, draw the figure, then with formulas, future worth for ordinary and present worth for single payment, those are enough for me to analyze problems on annuity. So the formula for annuity due or deferred annuity, present worth of deferred annuity, therefore is, you just copy that, a over I, 1 plus I to the n, then quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1 plus 1 minus 1. I do not memorize this formula. Draw the cash flow diagram, then all you have to do is remember future worth of ordinary annuity and future worth of single payment. Then the present worth will be divided by 1 plus I raised to the power. That power is the distance between where the future worth is located, then project it to the present, 0. That's it. That's the technique. So this is future worth of deferred annuity, while this one is present worth of deferred annuity. Then for the second approach, this is the second approach that I'm going to suggest. Remember, this is ordinary annuity. Then I can compute the value, single value equivalent to this ordinary annuity here. And I call that uh, f sub m minus 1 because it occurs at the m minus 1 period. Now, which formula am I going to use? Present worth formula for ordinary annuity. And remember, there are only n minus m plus 1 payments. So, if you can recall the present worth of ordinary annuity, which is future worth over 1 plus I to the n, or the formula that I memorized, which is a over I, quantity 1 minus quantity 1 plus I to the negative n, I replace that negative n by negative of this expression here or quantity here. So, project it to the present afterwards once we compute this by just dividing it by 1 plus I to the power n minus 1. So, that's the present worth of deferred annuity. Then, f sub m minus 1, a over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative, formula for present worth, remember? Then negative n supposedly, but in this case, negative of this quantity, n minus m plus 1. Then after that, divide that by 1 plus I to the m minus 1. So present worth of deferred annuity is a over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative of quantity n minus m plus 1. Then divide that by 1 plus I to the m minus 1. And do not memorize. Do not memorize, supposedly. So before this, after we derive the formula for present worth of annuity due, we can also derive the future worth of annuity due by multiplying that by 1 plus I to the uh, n minus m plus 1. Anyway, it was shown in the preceding slides. So next approach, this is the third approach for deferred annuity rather. So for this third approach here, this is m minus 1. We're going to put a's here in these missing periods. So this is the third approach. We put a's here. It does not contain a, but will make a so that the resulting cash flow diagram would be the same as that of the ordinary annuity. So it is now complete. But since we added this a's here, which is supposedly empty, then we should counter them by putting a upward up to here, right? So it's like two ordinary annuities cash flow diagram. One is complete, then the other one is up to m minus 1 only. So meaning to say, if you want to derive the what we call this, the present worth of annuity. So the present worth is present worth of this complete uh, cash flow diagram filled with A, P1, A over I, quantity 1 minus quantity 1 plus I to the negative n this time. Then we should subtract the present worth of this uh, ordinary annuity also up to m minus 1. And there are m minus 1 equal payments. And I'll call that P sub to the present worth. So therefore, the present value P of deferred annuity is the difference between P1 and that of P2. So present worth of deferred annuity P1 minus P2. So it is equal to a over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n. It is complete. Then minus a over I, quantity 1 minus quantity 1 plus I to the negative of quantity m minus 1. And I do not memorize this. I'll just explain it how to analyze situations like this deferred annuity. So that's my way of analyzing it. So after that, once the present worth is obtained, the future worth is simply obtained by multiplying this present value of deferred annuity by 1 plus I to the n. Remember, F equals present worth 1 plus I to the n from single payment case. So that's it. Then the last type of annuity is the what we call perpetuity, and this is an application of, I already mentioned this in the first part, like capitalized cost, present worth of um assets, buildings, bridges that need to be maintained, that will last for longer periods, 50 years, 30 years, 40 years, and so on and so forth. So we define this as an annuity where periodic payments continue indefinitely. So here, the number of periods is so high that it is assumed forever or approaching infinity. An example of this is the calculation of the present worth of maintenance costs of assets that are assumed to last for a very long period of time, such as bridges, railways, and dams, so on and so forth. So P equals, remember, A over I, quantity, just the present worth. There's no future. You cannot uh, estimate the future because the number of periods is so high. So P A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n. And remember, when n is approaching infinity, this term here approaches 0. So because n approaches infinity, 1 plus I to the negative n approaches 0. Therefore, the present worth of perpetuity is simply A over I. And take note that I should match the periodic payments, and the worth of money should be will should coincide. No? So present worth of a perpetuity provided the period of payments is the same as the period of the calculated rate of interest. Otherwise, compute it the equivalent interest rate by the concept on equivalent rates or effective rates of ordinary annuity. This is A over I for ordinary annuity formula. So we now proceed to the case where we have continuous compounding annuity, for the case with we have compounded continuously. So remember, these are the formulas for future worth and present worth. A, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I. Then n is, remember, my. And I is nr over m, or simply r over m. So that's the future worth. Same. Then f is a 1 plus r over m. I'll just replace nr by r. Raised to my minus 1 all over 1 plus r over m raised to m minus 1. So this is the formula for uh, the case we have I here, which is represented by 1 plus I minus 1. It's the same. So we replace 1 plus I by 1 plus r over m raised to m because this is raised to 1. So n is m minus 1 and this one is my. So simplifying, that's the future worth. So f equals, because this is e, remember 1 plus r over m raised to m, as m approaches infinity is e to the r. So that becomes e to the r. This is e to the r also. Then minus 1. So I'm just deriving the formula for future worth of annuity where the method is we have compounded continuously the case. So formula for future worth therefore is a quantity e to the ry minus 1 over e to the r minus 1. So that's the formula for future worth. Then for the present worth, we also use the formula a 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n over I. So again, we replace this by our result here, e to the r minus 1, and this one is replaced by e to the negative ry. So p is a 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n over 1 plus I minus 1, and the result would be same 1 minus, so from the results here, we simply replace this by 1 plus r over m raised to negative m and negative n, and n is negative my. This one raised to the power 1 raised to m minus 1. So the result is, present worth is a quantity 1 minus this formula. This is replaced by e to the r, this one, e to the r, e to the negative r in this case, and this is e to the r. So a1 minus quantity e to the r raised to negative y over e to the r minus 1. So the formula for the present worth therefore is a quantity 1 minus e to the negative ry over e to the r minus 1, for that case. So the ratio f over a again is e to the ry minus 1 over e to the r minus 1. That's the formula for f over a. If you can recall, this is called equal payment series compound amount factor for the case of compounded continuously. So uniform payment series, equal payment series, compound amount factor for this case. Then a over f, sinking fund factor, e to the r minus 1 over e to the ry minus 1. Reciprocal equal payment series or uniform payment series sinking fund factor. P over a is equal payment series or uniform payment series present worth factor, which is equal to 1 minus e to the negative ry over e to the r minus 1. Do not memorize, remember, you just derive. Memorize, important formulas to memorize are those of ordinary annuity. So we call this equal payment series or uniform payment series present worth factor. Then finally, the reciprocal a over p, e over r minus 1 over 1 minus e to the negative ry. We call that equal payment series or uniform payment series capital recovery factor. So it's the same uh, terminology except that we have compounded continuously case. So let's have examples on annuity. Continue. Compute the future worth of an annuity of 15,000 pesos at the beginning of each month for 25 years if money is worth 2.5% compounded monthly. So it matches. Payment is made at the beginning of each month, and the rate is 2.5% compounded monthly. So in this case, I, which is NR over M, is 0.025 divided by 12. and the payment is equal payment is 15,000. So the future worth, if you can recall, is A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1. N in this case is 12 times 25. So we have this next example. So this is the solution. A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n plus 1 minus 1, then minus A, because this is a problem on annuity due. So remember that we have to fill in the end period because it is vacant A, and we should neutralize it by adding A above. So there will be n plus 1 equal payments. That's why we have to subtract minus A, because the number of payments is added by 1. And same formula. We just adjust by replacing n by n plus 1. So I, which is NR over 12, so n is 12 times 25, 300. Then I is 0.025 over 12. You just substitute it right away here. So F, annuity due, is 15,000 over 0.025 over 12, quantity 1 plus 0.025 over 12, raised to 300 plus 1, then minus 1, then minus A, which is 15,000. Solving for that, FAD is equal to 6,255,624. For this case, what is the present worth of payments made at the beginning of each month? Again, or annuity due of 1,600 pesos for 5 years if payments are subjected to 3% interest compounded monthly. So here, the formula for ordinary annuity, present worth of an ordinary annuity, is A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n. In this case, we have to replace n by n plus 1 because we added A also. So it becomes negative quantity n plus 1, but we have to add, n minus 1 rather, and we have to add A because there will only be n minus 1 equal payments. Then at the beginning there is A, so beginning of the second month up to 25 years there will be n minus 1 equal payments to apply for the present worth of ordinary annuity. That's why we have to add A also. So if you can recall the formula, present worth of annuity due A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative of quantity n minus 1, then plus A. That's why it becomes 1 minus n. Negative of quantity n minus 1 is the same as 1 minus n. So I 0.03 divided by 12, so you just make it directly. N is 12 times 5 in this case, which is 60. So substitute. A is 1,600. So 1,600 over 0.03 over 12, quantity 1 minus 1 plus 0.03 over 12 raised to 1 minus n, and n is 60 plus 1,600. So solving for that, it is equal to 689,266 pesos. Then for the next problem, 21, a machine is to be paid 36 equal end of the month payments of 20,000 pesos. If the first payment will start at the end of 6 months, determine the present worth of the machine in 3 ways. Interest rate is 6% compounded monthly. So 3 ways, I need to draw the cash flow diagram. This is a problem on deferred annuity. So the first payment occurred at the end, at the start. We'll start at the end of 6 months. So this is ordinary annuity because the payment is made at the end of the period but deferred. So for the first situation, I'll call the value here as F or P sub 5. present worth of these equal payments. The number of payments from 6 to 36 is 36 minus 6 plus 1. That's 36 minus 6, 30 plus 1, so that's 31. So P5 is present worth of ordinary annuity A over I quantity 1 plus I to the negative n, where n is 31 in this case. Then after solving for P5, because this is future worth, it occurs at the end of fifth month, fifth period, so we have to project it at present, and I'll call that P. So we divide 1 plus I to the 5 for that case. So A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n, and n is 36 minus 6 plus 1, that's 31. So P5 equals 20,000 over I. I is 6% compounded monthly, so that would be interest is 6% compounded monthly. So that would be, 12% compounded monthly. So that would be 0.12 divided by 12. So that's 0.01. I'm not presenting it here, but it is 0.01. 12% divided by 12. So substitute, and you have 31, as I said, negative of 31, 36 minus 6, then plus 1. So computing, it is equal to P5, 530,845.707. So the present worth, therefore, is we divide this further by 1 plus I, 1.01 raised to 5. So P, 530,845.707 divided by 1.01 raised to 5. So the present worth of annuity due is equal to 505,081. Now for the second method, second approach, so this is 20,000 over 0.01, quantity 1 minus 1.01 raised to negative 36. So meaning I fill this in, this vacant part of the periods. There will be A here. So that makes it 31 all in all. Then we should subtract the present worth, because we have to fill this in also to neutralize the payments here. And there are 5 equal payments only. So present worth of annuity due with 5 equal payments, 20,000 over 0.01, quantity 1 minus 1.01 to the negative 5. So we subtract that value by 20,000 over 0.01, quantity 1 minus 1.01 to the negative 5. And that value is also 505,081. Then this is the third approach, future worth here. Third approach, future is A over I, 1 plus I to the n minus 1. So since we only consider 1, 2, 31 equal payments, so we up n is 31 here. Then after computing that, we divide that by 1 plus I to the 36 to project it to the present. 1 plus f over 1 plus I to the n. But n here is 36 this time. So 20,000 over 0.01, 20,000 over 0.01, this formula for f here. Then quantity 1 plus I, 1.01 to the 31. Remember, there are only 31 equal payments from 6 to 36. Then minus 1. Then that will be the future worth of these 31 equal payments, which occurs at the 36th period. Then that value is future. To project it to present, we divide that by 1 plus I to the 36. That's why we divide it further by 1.01 to the 36. And the value is, supposedly, is of course the same, 505,081. So next we have problem 22. Compare present worth of equal payments of 5,000 pesos made every end of 3 months. Every end of 3 months. So this is ordinary annuity. If money is worth 4% compounded quarterly for A, 50 years, B, 100 years, C, 200 years, and D, forever. So for formula for present worth of ordinary annuity, A over I, quantity 1 minus 1 plus I to the negative n. You can remember that. So for the first case, I is 0.04 divided by 4, so 0.01. Mode of payments every 3 months, quarterly also. So substitute, A is 5,000 and N is 4 times 50, so that would be 200. So 5,000 over I is 0.04 over 4, so 0.01. Quantity 1 minus 1 plus I, so 1 minus 1.01 to the negative n, and n is 4 times 50 years. So it is equal to 431,657 pesos. For part B, for 100 years, 5,000 over 0.01, 1 minus 1.01 to the negative 4 times 100. And that is equal to 490,658. So C, 200 years, 500, 5,000 over 0.01, 1 minus 1.01 to the negative 4 times 200. And it is equal to 499,825. You see the difference is small. So D, forever. So this is perpetuity. And it is A over I, 5,000 over zero point zero 0.01. So it is 500,000. So it means that there's no difference between the present, there's no considerable difference for the present worth of an annuity of 5,000 pesos compounded by that rate, and the period is 200 years, and if it is forever, so it's the same. That's only 175 pesos difference. So if I were the one who owes money like this until death, then I agree. It's all the same. 200 years, or even if my clan will take care of the rest if I die, then it's fine. The difference is only 175 pesos. So it's fine. So next, problem 23. Compute the present worth of equal payments of 1,000 pesos that is made at the beginning of each month. So this is annuity due beginning at the beginning of first month. Then beginning of the first year. Money is worth 6% compounded quarterly. How about for annuity compounded continuously for case A? So remember, present worth is just A over I for perpetuity. But this one, annuity due, beginning of the first month. So it is A plus the present worth of the remaining N minus 1 payments. So there are, how many payments here? So this is forever. So A over I plus, that's the formula, then we have to add A. So 1 plus NR over 12 raised to 12 equals 1 plus 0.06 over 4 raised to 4. Let's have the equivalent rate. So NR over 12 is I is equal to 0.000.0049752. So substitute here with plus A because that's the formula for annuity 2. So 1,000 over 0.004975 plus 1,000, and that is equal to 201,997. For the second part, the first payment is deferred at the beginning of first year, so that's the 12. At 12 there is A, so meaning to say at the 11th month we have to compute the equivalent present worth. Then because it occurs at the 11th month, we have to divide that further by 1 plus I to the 11, and from there we add A. So P is 1,000 divided by I, then this is the value at the 11th month, 1,000 over 0.0049752, A over I, the formula, because this is indefinite. Then, because it occurred at the 11th month, that is considered future relative to the present. So that's why we have to divide it further by 1 plus I to the 11. Then plus 1,000 because there is 1,000 at the beginning of the month. So P is equal to 191,318 pesos. Then for C, annuity compounded continuously, for case A, formula is A over e to the r minus 1. So P over A over e to the r minus 1, then plus A again because there is A at the beginning of the month. So 1,000 over e to the 0.0049752 minus 1 plus 1,000. So that's why P is 201,497. Problem 24. If 500 pesos is invested at the end of each year for 6 years at an annual interest rate of 7%, what is the total peso amount upon the deposit of the sixth payment? So this is future worth of 500 pesos each made every end of each year. So ordinary for 6 years. So future worth of annuity. So it is A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n minus 1. So substitute A is 500, I is 0.07, so n is 6. And there is an alternate formula here using the sum notation because remember, ordinary annuity is the same as that of geometric progression. So that's why we have 3,576.65 pesos. So drawing the cash flow diagram, this is the sixth period. So the formula is A is 500 pesos. The formula is summation of 500 times quantity 1 plus I, 1.07 raised to x, and it should begin at 0 to 5. Why 0 to 5? Because it should be 1 minus 1. It begins at 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0, and it ends at 6, and 6 minus 1 is 5. And 0 to 5, there are 6 payments also. So for ordinary annuity, if you use this sum notation, the bottom is beginning minus 1, and the upper limit is end minus 1. But if it is annuity due, should be 0 plus 1, and this should be 5 plus 1, or n plus 1, 6 plus 1 for that case. So using your calculator, the result will be the same, 3,576.65. Then problem 25, if 500 pesos is deposited in an account at the beginning of each year, so another annuity due, for 6 years at an annual interest rate of 7%, how much can be withdrawn after 6 years? So future worth of uh, annuity due, formula A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n plus 1. Remember, you add 1 minus 1, then minus A. So A over I, quantity 1 plus I to the n plus 1 minus 1, then minus A, where n is 6. That's the cash flow diagram. So A is 500. So F is 500 over 0.07, then quantity 1 plus I to the n plus 1, so 6 plus 1 minus 500. And that is equal to 3,827 pesos. So because this is annuity due, then remember from here, summation notation 500 times 1.07 raised to x, and it should begin at 0 plus 1 because there is value here, and it should end at 5 plus 1, which is 6. So summation from 1 to 6 of 500 times 1.06 raised to x. And using your calculator, it will give us the same answer of 3,827 pesos. So this is the last part. I hope that uh, you're still there. You are still there. So this is ME Board 1997-1998 for the first two parts. If the nominal rate of interest is 4%, how much is the present worth of 40,918.25 occurring in 10 years in a continuously compounded account? Letter B, if the nominal rate of interest is 3%, how much will 5,000 pesos be worth in 10 years in a continuously compounded account? Compounded continuously case. Then compute the present worth of a perpetuity of 2,000 pesos per annum for 200 years in a continuously compounded account if money is worth 2% per annum. And letter D, compute the present worth of a perpetuity of 2,000 pesos per annum at 2% nominal rate of interest. So all these are continuous compounding case. So for A, future worth equals formula A, quantity e to the ry minus 1 over e to the r minus 1. If you can recall, uh, this is single payment, so F equals Perry. So, by the way, I'm sorry. So Perry, Fatty Perry, so that you can recall. So 14,918.25 equals P e to the r is 0.04, then y is 10. So 14,918.25 equals PE to the 0.04 times 10, then P is equal to 10,000 pesos. For part B, it's the same. This time we're looking for F. So F is P e to the 0.03 times 10. This time we have 3% nominal rate of interest, and the period is still 10 years. So F is equal to 6,749.3 pesos. For letter C, this is perpetuity compounded continuously, but the formula is P equals A, quantity 1 minus e to the negative ry over quantity e to the r minus 1. So A is equal to 2,000, R is 0.02, then Y is 200. And the third one is perpetuity, so the difference to the answers to C and D, because C is, that's 200 years, that's a long period already. So P is equal to 97,190, and for part D, it is just A over e to the r minus 1, because this term e to the negative ry approaches 0 for that case. So 2,000 over e to the 0.02 minus 1, and that is equal to 99,003. Very close. Then lastly, we have this challenge problem, but not so challenge. A fund is to provide an annual scholarship at 4,000 pesos for the first 5 years, 6,000 pesos for the next 5 years, and 9,000 thereafter. So this 9,000 will have indefinite uh, number of periods. So that's what we call perpetuity for that case. So the fund will be established 1 year before the first scholarship is awarded. So if the fund earns 12% interest, what sum must be deposited? So present worth of these payments, we have equal payments which occurs for 5 years, 6,000 pesos equal payments for the next 5 years, and 9,000 pesos for thereafter. So meaning to say indefinite. So let's draw the cash flow diagram. This is the cash flow diagram. First 5 years, we have 4,000 pesos, A1. Then A2 for the next 5 years up to 10 years is 6,000 pesos. And thereafter, we have up to N approaches infinity, we have 9,000 pesos. So on and so forth. So N approaches infinity. So, and so on and so forth. So that is still 9,000. So therefore, we have to compute the present worth of this cash flow diagram, type of cash flow diagram. Some of them will be considered ordinary for the first 5. Next is deferred annuity, which is which is continuing indefinitely. So we just use present worth formula, then it if it occurs not at the present, then we divide that further by 1 plus I to the power n, where n is the distance where that single amount is calculated from the present. So we have P here, and we can compute the present worth of this. We'll call that P1. That's already present. Then next is for this second 6,000 pesos each. We'll first compute the present worth at the fifth here. I'll call that P sub 2 prime. Then to make it present, we divide that by 1 plus I to the 5. Then for this case, we'll call that P2, the present worth. Then for this third case, we have to compute the present worth at 10, which is just A over I, because this is perpetuity. I'll call that P3 prime, and that P3 prime will be projected to the present, and we'll call that P3. So therefore P is P1 plus P2 plus P3, where P1 is simply 4,000 over I point 12 quantity 1 minus 1.12 to the negative 5. So P1 equals 4,000 over 0.12 quantity 1 minus 1.12 to the negative 5. That's already present P1. And that is equal to 14,419.105 pesos. For P2 prime, same formula, raised to negative 5. Then we divide it further by 1 plus I to the 5. 1.12 to the 5. We divide that further by 1. So P2 prime is 6,000 over 0.12, 1 minus 1.12 to the negative 5. So P2 prime is equal to 21,628.66. Then P2, we divide this further by 1.12 raised to 5 because it occurred here. So P2 is 21,628.66 divided by 1.12 to the 5. And that is equal to 12,272.68. Then PT prime, it is just 9,000 over 0.12 perpetuity, remember? Because this is indefinite, and that is equal to 75,000 pesos. Then this value divided by 1 plus I to the 10, 1.12 to the 10. And that is equal to 24,148. Finally, we can now compute the present work. We add all this P1 plus P2 plus P3. And that is equal to that value there. So that's it for this video. It's very lengthy.